For offensive coordinator Josh Gattis.
Josh, after watching the tape, just talk a little bit about what you took out of the game and what you felt could be better, what you were happy with.
Well, the first thing I kind of, emphasize to the guys is, the mistakes that we made that were critically important to the success of the game. We just kind of left a lot of plays out there. I mean, when you look at it, obviously being able to drive up and down the field versus a really good team, but not finish with touchdowns, I think it's a major deal. And when you talk about, obviously red zone and scoring touchdowns, right, you have to eliminate the mistakes and penalties that happen in the red zone. And a combination of, whether it was penalties and mistakes or MAs, those things can't happen in clutch situations. And so we've got to continue to emphasize the base fundamentals of, we got to get better fundamentally as an offense, and that's just doing the little things right. At times we're out there just executing plays without executing the fundamentals of the plays, and those things show up, and they catch up to you when they catch up to you.
Josh, one of the play sequences that kind of stands out is that set close to the goal line. You guys run it on 3rd and 6, and then ultimately go for the field goal. Can you kind of walk through the thought process on that set of downs there?
Yeah, that drive right there, they came out in a 3-down defense, so they were obviously only had 3 down linemen and 8 guys in the coverage. So we were running the ball great all night, and obviously, the first play that we had there had an opportunity to kind of crease it for about a 10-yard run. We missed the block, we kind of fell over, and the ball ended up bouncing there. But obviously, we felt we had the numbers advantage in the run game. When obviously 3 down linemen, they were in a drop 8 coverage. And then that 3rd down, 3rd and 6, right? 3rd down isn't necessarily always 3rd down because, our thought process always, if you've seen us play throughout the season, is anytime we could be in a 4th and 2 or less scenario, we're in a go for it scenario. So that 3rd down call is somewhat of a 2-down call in our ability, to get a crease a run in a 3-down defense. And, we had an MA on our backside receiver, didn't push crack to go get the safety. The safety fell in the hole, but also we've got to be able to stay on our feet. One of the things that happened on that play a lot of times on Saturday is, we were falling down before contact even happened. And, for us, we got to have a mindset at the running back position. We got to run through arm tackles. We got to run over secondary players. We got to be physical down in the red zone. It's very hard to throw the ball into 8 people into coverage. And when you're getting 3 down fronts, you got to be able to take advantage of it in the run game.
Is that Franklin a potential option you look at more now in the red zone, being a bigger body guy?
Well, I think Thad's done a really good job for us, and obviously I think very highly of Thad. And obviously our coaches make those decisions throughout the week based on practice preparation, game performance, and all that deal. But we just need everyone to improve. I think Thad does bring us a valuable option, but we need the guys, whoever it is on the field. Whether it's Thad or whether it's Jalen, we need Henry. Guys that run hard, be physical backs, be downhill, and those guys did. Let me say that. They played hard. They played very, very hard. But there are some runs where we wish we, could stay up, keep our feet. And I know every guy in that room is, is equally talented to chewing at the bit right now to kind of, make their role, be more significant.
What were your biggest takeaways from the receivers? We were just talking with Mario about 6-7 drops in the game.
Yeah, I think, we had about 6-7 drops total. That was count obviously receivers, running backs, all that whole deal. But was not pleased. Got to be better. We obviously got some deficiencies there. From a depth standpoint, some challenges we're facing. But we got to be better. We got to be better. Consistently, and that's across the board. That's ball placement. That's quarterbacks. That's running backs. That's tight ends. That's receivers. Too many balls were on the ground. Too many open opportunities, and then there were some things from a technique and detail standpoint that we just didn't do right from our passing game. Whether it was the depth of the route. We had a couple 3rd down missed throws where the receiver ran too deep of a route, and if we would have just ran it right at the precision that it's supposed to be, would have been an easy completion for 1st down. And so we got to get better. Obviously, when you lose someone as important as Restrepo, he's our leader, captain, all that whole deal. There's a significant difference in that room right now. We've got to overcome it. There are no excuses. There's challenges, and we've got to overcome it with opportunities for everyone.
I think sometimes when plays are missed in the passing game, it can be hard for people to tell, is that on the quarterback or is that on the receiver? So how did you feel about Tyler's performance overall?
Yeah, that's a very valid point there, and oftentimes it looks as quarterbacks take a lot of blame. But Tyler, Tyler played good. Tyler obviously wants to continue to try to play better. And I think the area where you can always assess yourself as a quarterback is how is your ball placement on every route. Where's the ball hitting the receiver? Is it giving them an opportunity to get yards at the catch or yards at the contact? Are you precise in your reads and everything? And so, there's some plays in there. Obviously, Tyler wants back, but then he did a really good job. O-line did a good job keeping them clean. Running backs did a good job in the pass protection piece. We just got to get more. We got to get more out of our passing game. I thought we moved the ball extremely well in the run game, and we're going to need some guys to step up. We have a very inexperienced group, outside of our tight ends as far as Will Mallory. When you look at the production there, the receiver, tight end position. And so we need some guys to grow up fast and fill some big shoes.
Coach Gattis, is there any thought maybe to, helping Tyler, maybe one way is paring down the rotation at receiver and so forth, so we can kind of build some chemistry with guys and maybe timing improve a little bit?
Well, he is building chemistry. The challenge for us is we don't have so many guys, so we are, I think there's 6 guys playing and that's all we have. You look at it, it's a very, very thin scholarship situation. In fact, I don't know any other school in the country that's got this limited amount of wide receivers available to them. But, he gets work with all those guys throughout the week in practice because we have to sub, we have to rotate. We do a high volume of plays where, receivers are running deep routes, and so those guys got to keep themselves fresh. But we're also looking for someone to step up, and as we talked about, with losing X, that's a big piece of your offense. When you've got the type of player that he is, so productive, so consistent, a kid like that, we need someone else now to step up in that role and in his shoes. And we got to coach those guys better. I got to continue to push those guys, continue to develop those guys, and we got to get the most that we can out of them.
Obviously, you've got a lot of young guys at receiver, and young guys sometimes halfway through the season, like it clicks for them, and they end up being great. Like, what is it usually that with a young guy in the middle of the season can lead to a jump?
Well, it's all confidence, right? It's all confidence. It's got to start in between the ears first and in the head. And you got to believe in your ability. You got to know what you're doing, and you got to be precise in what you're doing. And the knowing what to do and why to do it is one thing, but you got to know how to do it. Most importantly, the correct footwork, the correct foot placement, simple details. And when you're playing on the road, especially, you can't get caught up in the environment. My number one message to the offense was we had to calm the noise. And the noise is not necessarily the crowd, but the noise is what's going through your head on a play-to-play basis. Are you focused on your fundamentals, your split, your landmark, all the little things that require details in order to be successful? And at times Saturday, we didn't silence that noise in our head. We were kind of, you look at it from a receiver standpoint, we were, whether we were in a wrong split or ran a wrong depth of the route or, we didn't finish a play. We just got to get more. We got to continue to do better. And they're a young group. It's our time right now to put our hand behind them and push them forward, put an arm around those guys, instill some confidence in them, and obviously very disappointed in the outcome of the game, but it's a long season. We got a lot of games left and a lot of football right ahead of us.
Coach, where were the receivers on that theme, in fall camp they dropped a lot of balls and they got really great at the end of fall camp, and the first 2 games they looked good. There were, like you said, multiple drops. Was that the calming the nerves thing? And I was wondering about that, and also Rashard Smith in the last play. How is he doing mentally?
Just calming the nerves. These kids know their ability, what they can play up to, and what they need to play up to. And so, drops are going to happen sometimes in games. And as I say, even the 6 or 7 that it was in the game, it wasn't always the receivers. Some of it could be helped either by ball placement or ball location. We gave Mike Redding a drop on a deep over route where, if he would have laid out for a ball, so it's not necessarily a drop in that category as ball in the hands, but, ball placement, where the ball's hitting these guys, everything, just focusing on the details. But we just got to improve. We're going to continue to, we're going to put last game behind us and continue to move forward. And, that's obviously a big emphasis is how we practice, is how we're going to perform. And so we got to have a great week of preparation and practice. And then as your next question with Rashard, yeah, he's doing good. Obviously any competitor is going to be hurting in a situation like that where, in the game, I hurt for him. I wish I could do more for him. I wish I could do more for all these kids. And we'll come together. Right now is the time for us to come together as a unit, come together as a team. And so, we've corrected the mistakes. We've put them in the past, but we got to learn from them. This is not any, we don't accept moral victories around here. We don't proclaim to pat ourselves and say everything will be better. We've got to work. Critical point in the season for us, as we continue to get back home this week, and we've got to move forward, take next step, take next step forward.
Coach, can you talk about where the secondary receivers with Jacoby, Frank, and Mello, where they're at in their progress?
Yeah, obviously, with those guys, we just got to continue to practice better. Got to practice better. Got to prepare better. And that's going to come to from everything that we do. And so obviously the challenges that we have in our depth. We've taken some hits there from injuries. We're going to need everybody to pull the rope in the right direction, and they've got to do it together. They've got to do it as a unit. And that's got to create confidence in them. That's got to be, confidence from, Tyler and the offensive line, running backs, everyone together. And so, like I said, we've got some challenges at the receiver position. We're collectively, we're just going to have to overcome them.
Josh,
Last question.
John Campbell graded out really well last week. What have you seen him kind of grow into that role? Now he has a chance to start, pretty regularly.
Yeah, John's done a great job for us. And obviously, getting him back healthy this year was huge, just for the benefit of, obviously some of the challenges that we face with Zion's off-season injury. But, having, 3 tackles that you've got tremendous confidence in to be able to play in a game. And in fact, you look at when DJ went down in the game, the emergency status of Zion, just being able to switch him over from left to right tackle was tremendous for us. It really helped us obviously finish the game strong there. But you got to have that many guys up front. You got to have guys that can be interchangeable, guys that can play multiple positions. But John's going to continue to get better as well. He's a very young guy, inexperienced, right? Didn't play a lot of football last year at all. So this is all new to him. And he's done a really good job so far. And we look forward to him to continue to take the next step as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Coach Gattis.
Thank you guys.